there are countless ancient mysteries still waiting to be unraveled all over our planet. Discoveries to be unlocked, secrets to be revealed. Yet undoubtedly, the jewel within the crown of these earthly ancient enigmas has to be that of the Great Pyramids of Egypt, or indeed the entire Giza Plateau. What is hiding within these gigantic, perfectly constructed structures? What is laying beneath this long-claimed man-made plateau? One once cast in solid sandstone with its many, yet-to-be-explored caverns, cavities, and even stairways, all once effortlessly cut through and into the underbelly of this enormous ancient mass. Although countless scans of the plateau have been made with in-depth exploratory work done upon Cheops in particular, the largest of the three pyramids and the only one so far known to have existing inner chambers, with these indeed producing some compelling results, what still lay deep within its bowels, one laced with hermetically sealed shafts, secret passages, and enormous galleries, however, remains an impenetrable mystery. Yet could there lay within a mystery, perhaps even an entranceway into a secret chamber which has long sat out in the open? One which those in the know, in particular a certain individual who has long been bestowed with the responsibility of running Egyptians' ancient antiquities, and I have long claimed also responsible for upholding certain current paradigms, whom would rather, like that of whatever was found beyond the infamous Gantenbrick's door, prefer I not have stumbled upon. Well, one such enigma can indeed be found, hidden in plain sight, and it's just waiting for someone not funded by particular academic circles to explore, and to expose once and for all what's hidden within. Hiding within the king's chamber, a chamber although claimed to be a mere 4,000 years old, proven within such places as the Grand Gallery, with its slab work and megalithic placement, so precise, constructed with such accuracy, as to have once appeared finished like that of flat glass. However, within and amongst these seemingly laser-cut, yet randomly sized 20 rectangular slabs which made up the floor space of the king's chamber itself, is revealed to have had two, in fact, long removed. Although Khufu's sarcophagus has been shown to have been too small for his mummy, and with no mummies or any burial artifacts ever found within the pyramid itself, these missing slabs within this long-claimed tomb have since been suspiciously and quietly covered in with cement. However, the plot thickens once one realizes that within the original photography and indeed initial explorations of this mysterious room, the missing slabs are clearly apparent, with the gaping holes within the chamber's floor clearly visible. These holes indicative of entranceways possibly into multiple hidden chambers, yet these would quickly be covered by wooden planks, later metal grates, until rather recently they were quietly cemented over, clearly in an attempt to erase all evidence of this ancient, out-of-place anomaly. What is hidden within the floor of the king's chamber? What was originally within what has long been claimed as Khufu's tomb? I feel that with recent developments beneath Khufu, and indeed the clear lack of any evidence to not only suggest that these massive structures were once tombs, but that they were even built by the ancient Egyptians a mere few thousand years ago, it would seem to me that the truth of what these structures once were, along with the recent expose I shared of the enormous pyramid which once sat proudly within Salt Lake City, one once constructed of solid copper blocks, the true purpose and indeed possible function of these mysterious buildings, now identified and located worldwide, could be far more profound, and one I feel we get ever closer to discovering with each passing day. What is beneath the king's chamber? What were the Great Pyramids used for? It is a mystery which I continue to find highly compelling.
There are many mysteries to be found within ancient Egypt. Unexplained, seemingly impossible mysteries which litter the caverns, tunnels, flooded underground layers, and indeed the once inaccessible passageways, only recently explored using advanced modern technology. However, some of the most perplexing mysteries lay in plain sight. Not only the Great Pyramids themselves, an obvious enigma for academia to explain the construction of, but many anomalous features which can be found within objects, often leaving academics baffled as to an explanation. The Cheops sarcophagus being one such anomaly. Although these pyramids are entered and explored by millions of people every year, and indeed, this mysterious sarcophagus shown to many of these inquisitive explorers, what many the funded academic tour guide often leaves absent from their explanation of this supposed tomb is how exactly it arrived at its current location. As we have explored and exposed previously, the casing stones that can be found on many of the pyramids are to us not only indicative of another phase of construction work, once having been undertaken upon these structures, but due to the erosion present and the different styles featured, are in fact indicative of more than one attempt to conserve these marvelous structures for future generations. Thus, one must conclude by more than one now extinct advanced civilization. As such, the age of the sarcophagus of Cheops could be immense. So it is not surprising that it has encountered not only grave robbers, but has been vandalized also at points within the distant past. Furthermore, and perhaps most intriguing and frustrating, is that the sarcophagus lid is missing, a lid that could have explained the past contents of this mysterious box, or like the tomb of Pakal, exposed extremely controversial illustrations of possible past technologies. Unfortunately, however, or rather most conveniently for academics, this lid has never been discovered. Yet what is most perplexing regarding this diorite box, notably one of the hardest workable stones on Earth, is that no one seems to know how the original builders managed to transport the box to its current location deep within the bowels of Cheops. The diameter of this supposed tomb being too large to have traveled down any of the known tunnels, which have so far been discovered within the ancient pyramid. This leaves us with two likely possibilities. One, that the diorite box was placed there and the pyramid built around it, which is a mysterious and confusing hypothesis, mostly due to the lack of markings of significance found upon the sarcophagus, or indeed the lack of any dedicative markings found anywhere else surrounding it. It is as though the box was placed there without much effort to indicate any importance to its existence. Yet, to cut such a box, which has since been discovered to have been cast from one single block of diorite, would have taken tremendous effort. A feat that modern man would only accomplish with the use of diamond-edged power tools. Not to mention the effort that would have been involved in moving this multi-ton stone into its found location. The second hypothesis regarding how this sarcophagus found its way into its current location is that the box itself was transported to its found location through tunnels and passageways we are yet to discover, possibly hinting at the fact that within this Great Pyramid, there are indeed many more hidden layers and cavities we are yet to explore or discover. Maybe the placement of this seemingly inanimate box was placed there to suggest exactly this. Furthermore, what was on the lid of this supposed sarcophagus? Why is it known as the sarcophagus of Khufu, when Khufu was not discovered within it? In fact, nothing was discovered within it. And why is the lid mysteriously absent? Where did the lid to this sarcophagus go? Why, if destroyed by grave robbers, was it not left where it lay? Did this lid contain controversial information, possibly pertaining to the original contents or indeed purpose of the Great Pyramids? We find the diorite sarcophagus of Khufu, and indeed its unexplainable journey into the center of the pyramid, highly compelling. The Great Pyramids are undoubtedly the most astonishing ancient ruins on planet Earth. Not only was their construction one of the most precise ever achieved, sitting on several hundred acres, yet still set only a mere 2 inches off plumb dead. We have recently been revisiting such astonishing discoveries as that of Gantenbrink's door, found only by utilizing robotic technology. claimed to have led to the Queen's chamber, although it was also rumored by some Egyptologists that this endoscopic exploration of what was beyond this door would expose the burial chamber of the Egyptian god Osiris. Yet when the discovery was made and the chamber penetrated with cameras, a media blackout befell the entire site, meaning any discoveries that may have been made could have easily been covered up. Furthermore, although many who visit the pyramids are distracted by the extraordinarily precise and enormous blocks within the Grand Gallery, the smallest of details, we feel, are unquestionably the most impressive of the seemingly many impossible, mind-boggling achievements that are exhibited within the pyramids. Such as that of the star shafts. These tiny foot-by-foot shafts were, at the time of the pyramid's construction, perfectly picked out and aligned with an unbreakable pathway constructed through the millions of megalithic blocks fitted into Khufu's construction. When considering modern building techniques, many researchers have thus repeatedly claimed these shafts must have been hermetically sealed at the time of their creation, this leaving them a clear path from deep inside the pyramid all the way out to near the exterior boundaries. Shafts of this nature have not been discovered in any other pyramids yet. Initially, they were presumed to be ventilation shafts, but doubt has been cast on this theory due to the shafts not leading all the way to the outside. This same fact also cast doubt on the theory that they were used to observe certain stars. In 2010, researchers from Leeds University developed a robot just like that of Gantenbrink to get to the bottom of their purpose. It transversed the shaft and used an endoscopic camera to look through a hole in a blocking stone which is in its path to the outside. However, it revealed a small chamber with red ochre markings on the floor. These markings have been investigated and concluded as a lost language, deliberately placed here as if knowing a future generation would find it somehow. Who wrote these ochre figures? Who built the pyramids themselves? We find such discoveries highly compelling.